Mid Transformers 960 with another review. This time it is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 3¼ Spider Strike Power Charged Electro figure. So yeah, so first of all, let's just go over the packaging. This is the first and possibly the last 3¼ Spider-Man 2 figure that I'm going to review. You've got Electro on the side and how the whole gimmick works. The package is very long, much longer than the average, 3¼ box. Like here they are side to side. This is much thinner than this big one. So yeah. Overall, I don't like the wideness of it. I wish that it was a standard, 3¼ type of box. Not a big deal though, but definitely something that I would have liked to have instead. Plus, this takes up more shelf space, so I don't know why they do that, because they can fit more in a box and everything when it's smaller. But anyway, here's a picture of Electro. Overall, very nice. How to kind of work the gimmick. 3 other figures in this wave, and a nice different picture of Spider-Man on the back there. I like that you get a different picture of Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. And then also you get like a picture of Times Square, and on the Times Square screens, it's all pictures of Spider-Man, which is kind of neat. So overall, kind of like the back. Oh, same thing over here. There's like pictures of Spider-Man on the Times Square television screens. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah. So now let's go over Electro. So I bought this figure purely because of the character. I'm a huge Spider-Man villain fan, and one of my favorite Spider-Man villains is Electro. So I've been waiting like years since I was a kid to see this guy in a movie. So because of that, even though this is not looking like a great figure, I totally went and bought it because definitely worth it to me for the character. So yeah. So let's go over the figure. Let's bring in the lights. There you go. Okay. So just to go over the face sculpt, the face sculpt's okay. I mean, it kind of resembles a little bit of Jamie Foxx in the full makeup and everything. I don't know. It just it's all right, because he's very unrecognizable like this. But so is the 6-inch version, so it's fine. The whole costume and everything. You got the neck piece. You've got the shoulder pad, a little circle right there. Around like the glove. I like the way that the glove it cuts off on the fingers. This is something that's pretty nice, and was actually better than the 6-inch version. They don't even have this, and we haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know. Maybe he starts off with full gloves, and then when he does electricity, it kind of burns back some of the gloves, or maybe not. But as you can see with the 6-inch version, it's just a full glove. So possibly that's how it works. He actually burned the ends of the gloves off. I don't know. So if that's the case, then there's nothing wrong with this. But still, this is a much cooler look. So I definitely love the fact that you get the burnt gloves on this figure. The body's pretty nice. You can see the insides of him, but he's still sculpted. He's still sculpted and everything. Get the legs and everything, pretty nice. The number one, or there's 2 major complaints that I have about this figure. The sculpt for him, not too bad. I don't mind this. It's a decent sculpt. I kind of like it. My first complaint that I definitely have about it though is the paint. The paint is just bad. The face, I like this kind of translucent blue. I like that a lot. I like the fact that he's got the little thing on the side of his head. I don't know what that is. If that's an attempt to control him or what, but we'll have to see what that's about. Maybe it measures the amount of electricity that he's I don't know, that he's going through, because I know that he needs electricity to survive, so he doesn't create his own. So I don't know what that's about. But yeah, overall, the face color is good. The neck piece is nice and everything. And then his costume is blue with gray bits, which is completely inaccurate. It should be black with some gray bits. And this is totally false, the way that it's painted here. I don't know why they did that. If they just made it blue so that the kids know that this is Electro, but this should be all black. And then the middle section on his body is completely see-through, which I understand why they did it, because they're trying to do the whole gimmick, so I don't really mind. But it would have been nice if he was actually wearing a full black costume. Now, the next complaint that I have is, of course, the articulation. Everybody knows I'm going to complain about this because it's terrible. I mean, this might be a ball joint. Actually, yeah, looking, because you can kind of see inside his head, you can see the ball joint right there. So this is a ball joint, but it really just works as a swivel. And then you've got hinge swivel elbows, which are on kind of like ratchets. So, they kind of ratchet in and out. And then, of course, it swivels. And then you've got swivel hips, so it does this. really terrible. No waist, no elbows, no knees, no wrists, no ankles, no torso, just nothing. So articulation is incredibly lacking on this guy, and definitely hinders the fun for kids and hinders the posability and collectability for adults. So yeah, he does come with this little backpack. It's gray. It's kind of like a shiny gray though, with some blue highlights on it, and it's just a little like ball joint at the end there. You just put this into his back, and then you press the button on the back, and he lights up. You have to hold down the button to keep it lit up, and what it seems to be doing is you put this in, and then when you press the button, it just kind of moves it in just the tiniest bit to touch the little part. Because I was trying to do a pose with this guy, and I thought, you know, it might be cool if I could just, because I didn't want this back piece in there, so I thought it would be kind of cool if I could just kind of jam something small in there to turn on the light or something. I gave it a shot, and I was able to kind of turn it on, but it didn't work out. But anyway, that's how the whole lights work in this guy. The whole gimmick, you know, when he has the backpack on, he looks like a big turtle, so I really do not like the backpack. It really doesn't suit him as far as the look of the figure. If you want to know how the gimmick looks, of course, here he is with barely any light. You press this and a huge glowing light. This is really nice. The gimmick works really well. So if you're somebody who's gonna like this gimmick and have fun with it, then you're in for a treat, because it does work really well. But the only thing is, I don't think that many people are gonna love this gimmick. It would be nice if you could just like click a button and have it stay on, instead of actually having to put a decent amount of force into it each time to turn it on and keep it on. So yeah, let's get the light back on. So there you go. So overall, the gimmick, it works really well, but I just don't think it's a good gimmick overall. He doesn't come with anything else, so you're completely lacking when it comes to paint, articulation, and accessories. The only thing that this guy is pretty nice about is his gimmick and the sculpt. So 2 things that went pretty nice with him compared to 3 things that were totally amiss, and they really shouldn't have been. So let's just do some comparisons. Well, first of all, before I do comparisons, something that you can like give him that would make him kind of a little better are these things. These came with the Darth Vader from the vintage line, and they work out pretty good. I've spent a lot of time, you know, putting these accessories on him, and you can put like this on his hand, and there's ways to put it in between his like thumb or whatever. There you go. That make it like look really nice. I overall think that's pretty cool. And then with this, you know, I did a pose like this. How did I do it? There you go. I did it like this, I think. And I was able to get his hands in here or whatever and make it look like he's doing an electric blast like this. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Or you can simply take your Spider-Man, and this can actually fit totally around Spider-Man to make it look like he's getting electrocuted. So they're all things that you can give him to give him some pretty decent electric, you know, like effects. Also, the way that he's like standing, it looks, I don't understand why the arm is here. It looks so strange. Look at that. I don't know why they didn't sculpt it like this one, or if they wanted to sculpt it, you know, kind of like this so that you can have him like do this or something, you know, but he just looks terrible because this is how he's supposed to stand, and I hate this arm coming out. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Really don't like that. Here he is compared to the Marvel Universe Electro. As you can see, they look kind of good together. You know, of course they have totally different looks, so although it's the same character, it's, you know, you can't tell, which is unfortunate. But that's not a problem with the figure, that's just the movie. But I don't mind the Electro's look in this. These like kind of electric accessories would have been really cool for them to give him, but to paint him blue. But since they didn't, you can just go out and buy Storm. Although, you know, you really can't find her anymore. But if you can find one online, if you go out and buy Storm, she comes with these accessories, which would look really nice with this Electro. So you can go do that. I have her mint though, so you know, maybe one day I'll decide to open this. But until then, I'm not going to give him those accessories because she's mint, obviously. So yeah, so there's things that they could have given him to make him pretty cool. Here he is with the 6-inch one. 6-inch one is far superior in many ways, and that's about all I can say about that. He's just far superior. So overall, that's definitely a shame. And if you're wondering, here's a comparison with the movie Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 1 series. as you can see, fairly decent in scale. I mean, they're about the same, but considering they're so different figures, because this one is totally gimmick oriented and has no articulation, while this one has no gimmick and it's just tons of articulation, they don't look good together because they look like they're from two totally different toy lines, which they are very close to being. So yeah, so overall this is a quite disappointing Electro, but you know what you're gonna get when you see it in package. There's no surprise. So if you go to the store and you see him in package and you're like, hey, he looks good, then go ahead and buy it, because you can obviously see the articulation from the package and it's terrible. So as long as you know that and you're buying this for basically the statue, then go ahead. But if you're not okay with that, this is not for you. This is for big fans of Electro or people who want Electro in a 3 3/4 inch scale. I'm a huge Electro fan, so I had to get it. But other than that, I wouldn't have got it in normal situations, so in normal circumstance, I mean. So there you go. That's my review of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider Strike Power Charged Electro. Thanks for watching.